this is Sue for PMTV at the British Consulate in Jomtien, Pattaya. We are here to welcome His Excellency Mr. Asif Ahmad, the British Ambassador to Thailand, who is visiting Pattaya today to announce the reopening of the British Consulate here and to introduce the new team. In a moment, we'll have more information for you. I have the great honor to be standing here with His Excellency Mr. Asif Ahmad, the British Ambassador to Thailand. Hello, sir.
Hello, it's good to be here in Pattaya again.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So it's a great news that the consulate is open again here, and it's been closed for how long?
Well, what we tried to do as we were changing over from being an honorary consul with full-time employees was that we were only open on one day a week, on a Thursday. What we now have is a dedicated vice consul here and another person to assist. So it's a full-time office hours operation here, which really reflects two things. One is that our citizens here in Pattaya, Rayong and the area as a whole continue to need our services. And secondly, I think it just means that we are now doing this in a way which is consistent with all our other consulates in and around the country and indeed the region. Before we had Howard Miller as the honorary consul, and before him many others who've done the job. Great people doing public-spirited work, but to do this sort of work, in your spare time, when demand is rising, was probably a big ask. And I'm very, very grateful for the work that they did. But now we have a situation where, with the help of our staff in Bangkok and with the two people working here under Leela's leadership, we'll be able to do the things that we need to do for our citizens, whether it's pension letters, whether it's offering them advice, whether it's dealing with some of the serious cases that we get here where people need consular assistance and the more routine stuff. So I think overall I'm confident that as a result of this change, our citizens will experience something better, more professional and more fitted to their needs.
When you say it's full-time here, how many days a week is that?
Well, it's the normal office hours that you'd expect from a Monday to Friday, which is what we also do in Bangkok.
Right. And how many staff do you have here?
Two full-time staff here, but there's a big team in Bangkok. In Thailand, this is one of the largest consular operations outside of mainland Europe. I mean, Spain is obviously big for obvious reasons, but here in Thailand, with just under 840,000 British tourists a year, 51,000 who live here, either retired or working, that requires an on-the-ground presence.
So generally they come here for just advice and some legal issues, but most of the things are referred back to Bangkok, right?
Well, the things that they need, I mean, if they need a passport, then obviously they need to go online and make their own arrangements, and the documents are then checked in Hong Kong and the passport comes back from the UK. But on a more routine basis, people will come here because either they've had some unfortunate experience, whether they've been a victim of crime and they're short of money. Regular visitors are people who need their pension documentation or something for immigration so that their estate here can be regularized. Those are routine things which we do.
But definitely you're not doing visa stuff here, just to make sure.
No, absolutely sure. I mean, the visa operation is one where it is run out of our outsourced handling, where they simply lodge the application and collect the passport. But the decisions are made by our staff in the embassy in Bangkok.
Okay, when you said that some people actually face some serious issues here, what are they?
They range from a number of things. Some things can be just an unfortunate accident where they've simply dived into a pool and bumped their heads and have been hospitalized. Sadly, there are a lot of road accidents, particularly on motorbikes, where people are not wearing helmets and the like, or simply been a victim of bad driving. There are occasional fights that people get into, or people have simply been pickpocketed or robbed. These are things that are not just specific to Thailand. I mean, anywhere that attracts tourism, there will always be victims who fall into difficulty.
Okay. So those were some of the bad news, but what have been the positive news that you've had from here?
Well, the positive news really is that by far the majority of people who come to Thailand as visitors or as residents here actually have no difficulties whatsoever. The vast majority simply go back with a suntan and good memories, and that's how it should be.
Sunburn.
Yeah, well, that I don't think the consulate can assist with sunburn just yet.
Don't come here for sunburn. You won't get any assistance.
So, one shouldn't exaggerate the difficulties. But others, I think, things are that the people are making different sorts of investments here. Britain still is the largest investor from the EU in Thailand. And people like Triumph who are nearby are good examples of British success.
Is that also part of the advice that you can give people if they come here and ask for your
Yes.
advice on?
In fact, what I'd really love people to do, British tourists who come here, is to, what I say, give us a day. Go to the British Chamber whilst you're on holiday, to ask them about opportunities to sell things to Thailand, perhaps set up a business here where you're importing British know-how and goods and selling here, because we have a good reputation in business. We wouldn't be in that position we are, where we're the leading EU investor, if it wasn't for that. So I think that's something that we don't often talk about. But Tesco, Lotus, Standard Chartered Bank, Prudential, I could go on, and there are smaller businesses too doing vocational training. And I think the next big opportunity in Thailand will be English language training. I think Thailand's now realized that English is not just a language to talk to the Farang, it's a language of business. I mean, if within ASEAN, if people want to talk to their Vietnamese counterparts, who are they going to speak to? In what language are they going to speak? They're going to speak in English. And by that I don't mean a backpacker who thinks because they speak English they can teach English. You need to learn how to teach English. But qualified English language teachers will, I think, find that the market will improve here.
Is that part of your project that you're going to have in the future?
Well, we're working on it through the British Council. They've expanded their offices over the next 5 years. I think you'll see their footprint increase. I'd like them to look at Pattaya in the future as a place. I mean, this is a decision they would have to make, but I think there are opportunities here.
So we've covered the well-being of the British citizens, we've covered the economy. Another area that you're very concerned about normally is about human rights.
Yes, and I think there are universal rights that we believe in, whether it's freedom of expression or the rights of children. And I came here, the last time I came to Pattaya was to deal with the real big issue of pedophilia and sex crimes in general. And we've launched a whole program with educators in Thailand to help people understand the risks and actually teach children to spot when they're being groomed or approached by people who have ill intentions.
And this is an ongoing project.
Absolutely, and it will continue. And I think it's important that we should continue.
Right. And if we need more information about all this, what can we do?
The best source of information I can offer is our own website. We always cover, even like today's visit, day after tomorrow, people can log on and they'll see who have I met, what have I talked about, what are the big issues, and people like you help as well. This is another way of reaching out to people. And just after I finish with you here today, I'm meeting about 20 or 30 people Britons who live in Pattaya and the surrounding area. And it's an opportunity for me to listen to what their concerns and issues are firsthand. I may not be able to solve all of their problems. The one promise I can make is that I listen, and what needs to be reported to ministers, I do. One of the big issues here is the issue of frozen pensions. I actually took a bunch of people from the British community and sat him down in front of our minister, who understood the issue, and the issue now is a political one. Amongst all the other priorities in the UK, whether it's hospitals, prisons, you name it, is this something that they want to dedicate a resource to? It's not my call, but I've done my job in making sure that the minister actually understands how people feel about the issue.
So to solve any problem, you have to start with a needs analysis.
Precisely.
Yeah,
and
present it to the...
I've been told that there's a good reason why we have 2 ears and only one mouth. It should be used in that sort of proportion.
Listen more and talk less.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you would like to add?
No, what I would like to really say is that our commitment here and elsewhere in Thailand is to improve the services we offer within the resources we have. The Foreign Secretary has decided, despite the cutbacks around the world, we are actually expanding our services, which is why you see more staff here. We have more staff coming into our embassy in Bangkok. Now, we've now got to use this properly so that all our objectives, whether it's business, whether it's the way we handle visas for Thais who want to visit the United Kingdom or British visitors and nationals, within our means, we're doing more, which has to be good news.
Okay, there you are. So you've heard it from His Excellency about what we have here and what we can do at the British Consulate in Pattaya. And if you need more information, just go on to the website, which will be on the screen right now. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure.
standing now with Leela Bennett, the Vice Consul of the British Consulate in Pattaya, who is going to tell us a lot about what happens here. Hello, Leela.
Good morning. Well, basically, here at the consulate, we take care or we offer notarial services to our British nationals. Paperwork, anything that they need with their retirement visas. Perhaps they have to register births, passports, and even sending off their forms back to the UK through the GRO. The other side of the work is also assistance work to anybody who runs into trouble over here. We are a first point of call, if you like, if they don't have any family or friends, and we try to help them get in touch with their families back in the UK. So that's pretty much what we do here. There's two staff, there's myself and Consular, which is the consular assistant, and together we offer these two main services.
Right. So you're more or less the center of coordination here. You coordinate between the people who come here, with the immigration, with the police, with the embassy back in Bangkok, and with the family, all of that.
Yes, you're absolutely right. We are a first point of contact, I like to think of it, for anybody who don't have families or friends out here, and it can be very scary for someone who doesn't speak the language and they end up in trouble over here, whether it's through police, hospitals often. So we step in. We normally hear about them through the police or through the hospital. We offer them the services there. For our expat communities who actually live here for a long time, settled down here, when they need paperwork regarding their visa, or a lot of the times their pensions back home, or even out of the ordinary questions we get asked a lot of, can we help them contact people back in the UK that they've lost touch with? We do our best through Bangkok, obviously, and through our offices in London. We have a London desk, and we do everything through Bangkok, then through London. It's procedure, if you like. So yes, we coordinate. You've said it perfectly. Yes.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, not really. Just that we're both very new, but we are learning, and we've been trained by Bangkok, and we're doing our best. And perhaps just to be patient with us, and we're trying to offer the services across the country that the British Embassy wants us to offer, whether it's Chiang Mai, Phuket, Samui, Bang, or Pattaya.
There you go. You have a very efficient place, efficient staff here to assist you with your complaints and needs and help whatever you want. Tell us the location here.
We're on Jom Tien Soi 5, right next to immigration, around the corner from immigration. So probably a really good and perfect location. You stop off from us, then you go around to immigration on the same day. Yes.
And telephone number?
038 267 113.
There you go. If you have any needs and inquiries, anything to do with the British citizens living in Pattaya, just drop by, call, or email. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, it's good to be in Pattaya again. For today, what we're doing is formally introducing Leela, our new Vice Consul in Pattaya. I know many British citizens have been coming here only on Thursdays to get what they need, but this is part of a big expansion we're doing in Thailand as a whole, in Bangkok and here. And I think it's an opportunity for us to do what we need to do for our British citizens, whether it's pension renewals, whether it's guidance on where they can get their passports, and just dealing with the difficulties that one or two people get into every now and then, whether it's road accidents or other emergencies. That's what the team here is here to do. And Leela, I just want to ask you, how's it been for the first few weeks in your job here?
It's been pretty hectic and a big learning curve, but I'm doing my best.
Good. And you've had a few of your pals from Bangkok coming up to help you every now and then?
Yeah, once a week, which is really reassuring, and a great source of information.
Right.
So.
And what do you like best about the job so far?
I think about the amount of people and the variety of people that I get, and being able to help them when I give them the answer, which is the best feeling. So.
Sure. No, I think it's good that where people can be helped, and if it's simply guiding them to the right piece of information on our website, that does work.
Yeah.
But it's also important, I think you'll agree, for people to know what we can and can't do. And just today when we were standing here, there was somebody who was from another EU country, wanted us to offer some translation for them. Now really, the last thing we can do for anybody is, whether British or Dutch, is to translate documents for them, whatever. But there is some confusion, I think, about what, who we are serving and what we're doing.
Yeah, there often is, and I mean, when there's something that I can't help them with, I try my best to direct them in the way that they can get help, and that's the best I can do.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there are bigger issues, of course, which we're going to be dealing with later on when we speak to the British community about pensions and government policy.
Yeah.
And it's good, I think, to hear from people about what their issues are. But they also need to realize that neither you nor I can actually change the political decisions.
Yeah.
But we can tell ministers what the issues are.
Yeah.
And so it's a great thing that to have that opportunity. Thank you very much for lining up 30 Britons who are living in Pattaya.
Thank you for coming out and helping me answer the questions.
Great.
Yes.